Thank you, Senator. Senator Hawley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to all of the witnesses for being here. Ms. Pacheco, if I could just start with you. Your organization, the Dream.us, you provide support for undocumented young people for college and career success. Is that broadly right? Am I getting it right?
That's correct.
And among the things you do is you provide scholarships to these undocumented students. Have I got that correct?
That's right.
And so college scholarships, just to be clear.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. Can you tell me, maybe you know the answer to this, maybe you don't, any of the students, do you know if any of the students to whom your organization has provided a college scholarship are currently part of the encampments on any of these college campuses? Like the picture you see behind me, I'm sure we've all seen these videos.
No, Senator.
Nobody to whom you provide scholarships are part of the encampments?
I do not know.
Oh, you don't know. What about, do you know if any of the students to whom you provided scholarships have physically threatened Jewish students on campus?
I do not know.
Here's why I'm asking. NBC News just reported, and I'm just going to quote now from the article, quote, this is Columbia University, a Columbia undergraduate who provided only her initials because she is an undocumented immigrant and fears deportation, said last week she spent hours a day in the encampment. This would be the illegal encampment that's in violation of the law as well as campus policy. Spent hours a day in the encampment, I'm quoting still now, before university officials threatened to suspend those students. The article goes on, she joined, this student, joined a supplies platoon. That's a subgroup formed by pro-Palestinian campus organizers, end quote. Let me just review some of the things that these students, these in the encampments that is, are saying. And of course, we often don't know who these students are. They're concealing their identities. This is, I'm going to read to you now, and I just warn folks, this is not pleasant stuff, but these are the facts, and we have to tell the truth. This is just from last night at George Washington University. That's here in this town. They projected, the students in the encampment there projected onto various buildings images of the United States flag being burned with the graphics, Gaza lights the spark that will set the empire ablaze. They projected the following: long live the student intifada, down with the settler state, that would be the state of Israel, I suppose. Glory to the martyrs of Palestine, it's a jihadist slogan. Stained with the blood of 44,000 Palestinians. That's last night at GW. Also at GW, they're now calling for beheading, the student encampment, beheading of individuals who support the state of Israel, including holding a people's tribunal where they're putting on trial, quote unquote, various members of their own board of trustees and calling for a guillotine. Here's Columbia University students on April the 20th, 2024. This is all public record. I'm reading this now. This is on, I guess it's X. Columbia University students yelling at Jewish students, and I quote, "Never forget October 7th. It will not happen, it will happen, not one more time, not 5 more times, not 10, not 100, not 1,000, but 10,000 times. The 7th of October is going to be every day for you." The 7th of October, this is to Jewish students, is going to be every day for you, end quote. I guess my question is, Ms. Pacheco, and for anybody else on the panel too, shouldn't we be deporting these students? If we have undocumented students who are here unlawfully in the country.
In a tense Senate hearing, Senator Josh Hawley delivered a fiery challenge to campus activism, zeroing in on undocumented students allegedly involved in anti-Israel protests. His message was clear: if you're here unlawfully and promoting violence, you should not remain in the United States. Addressing Jose Antonio Pecco from the Dream.us, a scholarship provider for undocumented youth, Hawley began with pointed questions confirming the group's mission, and whether any scholarship recipients were part of the escalating college encampments seen across the country.
Do you know if any of the students to whom your organization has provided scholarships are currently part of the encampments?
Hawley cited NBC News describing a Columbia University undergraduate and undocumented immigrant who reportedly spent hours in an illegal campus encampment. He went further, reading disturbing slogans and threats documented at George Washington University and Columbia. including calls for violence against Jewish students.
Beheading, calling for the murder of Jews. This is not just speech, it's incitement.
Hawley then posed the question that silenced the panel. Should undocumented students participating in these unlawful, violent activities be deported? His stance unapologetically firm.
Shouldn't we be deporting these students who are here unlawfully, who are engaging in this activity and calling for the death of Jewish students?
Hawley expanded his call to foreign nationals here on student visas, urging the government to cancel visas for those participating in anti-Israel protests that promote violence. He framed
the country who are violating the law. Let's just be clear here now. This is a violation of the law, and if they're also deliberately inciting persecution of a person on account of their race, which surely calling for the murder of Jews does that, shouldn't we be deporting them? Does anybody think we shouldn't be? Shouldn't we be deporting these students who are here unlawfully? Ms. Pacheco?
Senator, we expect a lot from our scholars, and the scholars and the students that I know love this country, respect this country, and want to and enrich not only the campuses, but also this country.
That's fantastic, and I hope and bet that none of the people that you sponsor are part of this. And I certainly hope that's the case. But I just wondered, is there anybody on the panel who thinks that we should not deport students who are here unlawfully, who are engaging in this activity, who are calling for the death of Jewish students, who are violating the laws of the United States? I mean, shouldn't we be deporting these people? Does anybody want to defend it and say, no, we shouldn't? They should absolutely be here. I think it's indefensible. The record reflects there's total silence from the panel. I also think we ought to cancel the student visas, and I've called for this. For those who are here from other countries with a visa, I think if they're part of this, we ought to be canceling their visas. We ought to send a clear message. Actually, Ms. Pacheco, I think it was you in your opening statement put it really beautifully about how part of what we're talking here today represents the character of the country. I think that's very appropriate. And we need to send a message about
one moral voice on this issue.
Senator Hawley's forceful remarks have ignited a fierce debate balancing free speech, campus activism, immigration law, and the fight against anti-Semitism. Whether his call for deportations will gain traction remains to be seen, but the conversation has clearly reached a boiling point. What's your take on Senator Hawley's proposal? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit the subscriber button for more political showdowns.